welcome to Untapped Libraries, the podcast where interesting people come and talk to us about Magic decks that are near and dear to their hearts. Untapped Libraries is a part of the Podcaver Network. I'm not Vinny.
I'm not Neil. That's Neil over there.
Yeah, I'm Neil.
I'm Vinny. That worked great.
That
was smooth as butter.
I planned that for weeks.
Paid off big time.
So right now when we're recording this, I think Final Fantasy is almost all previewed.
Yeah, well, we should introduce the podcast. This is Untapped Libraries.
What are we doing here?
Yeah, this is Untapped Libraries. We're bringing people on. I know you give the little tagline, but for people, if it's your first time, we should welcome them. No?
Yes. Well, so let's give a short description of
what's going on?
What it
What's
is
happening?
we're doing here, besides distracting ourselves from the hellscape that is 2025.
Yeah.
Vinny, what does this podcast
What
mean
is this
to you?
podcast? This podcast, I just like talking to people. We bring people on. We talk to them. I like talking about Magic, so we talk to them about Magic. I like hearing how people build decks. So we talk to them about the decks that they build, or cubes, or whatever. And, hopefully we gain some insight both into Magic the Gathering, the guest, and hopefully ourselves.
Yeah, I love seeing what creative people build with this game engine that is Magic, and I love to see all the different approaches and types of decks that people can build, the meaning that they put into it, the thought they put into it. That's really what I want to see.
Yeah, I love it. All right, so that feels good. I like doing that.
Yeah, I think that's good, especially. We don't know what order these episodes are going to come out.
This could be episode 10.
This could be episode 1. This could be the one that we're like, this is
the one. This is the one we want to launch on. But this could also be episode 35.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah,
well, unlikely to be 35.
We could bury it forever.
I hope not.
I hope not.
Final Fantasy is coming out next. Is that on your mind?
I'm just trying to give some context of where we are. I'm not big into video games.
Did you ever play any of the Final Fantasy games?
No, never.
I've played a few.
So do any of the cards resonate with you?
I really don't give a rat's patoot about any of these Universe Beyonds.
I'm really not like a fanboy. Like, I can't think of a Universes Beyond that would really, really speak to me. Like, Lord of the Rings is probably about as close as...
Right.
So if we ever get a Lord of the Rings set...
We did.
That would be... Yeah, we did.
You did. You missed it. You didn't buy a single card.
No, I have a few.
But yeah, it doesn't do a lot for me. But you know what? It sells like crazy. It brings people who don't play into the game. More people playing is good. So, you start off with like, I love Final Fantasy. Oh, I'm going to try this game out. Oh, now I play it all the time. Great. Good for them.
I really like some of the art. I find that
sure.
Anytime that art feels more human to me, like when you see the brushstrokes, you see the drawing,
right.
And some of the alt art styles I really like.
Right.
The sort of more analog feeling. The IP means nothing to me, but...
I love the secret layers that allow me to buy cards at a discount. Sign me up. I don't care if it has 20 Pac-Man on it and it's a Cyclonic Rift for $20. Sign me up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
I would buy it. I would buy McDonald's, Burger King, Force of Will for $20. No problem. Any day of the week.
The way Magic is going, we're gonna get.
No, I know. Yeah.
We're gonna get the Kool-Aid set.
Yeah, what's the best corporate tie-in for a Force of Will card that you could think of?
For Force of Will.
Yeah, what would be a Force of Will? Like a gambling, like a casino site, Force of Will.
Because gambling is about, I feel like a gambling.
It's about compulsion.
Yeah, a gambling company is trying to get people to gamble more. They're not trying to stop.
Right.
I don't know. Force of Will.
Force of a hypnotist. Corporate hypnotist.
A giant multinational.
Big Hypnosis is coming to sponsor Force of Will.
I feel like Force of Will is a tricky one.
Maybe a legal office that does wills.
Yeah, a huge international
legal company
that wants to
get into wills. Force of Will.
Force of Will. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Okay, I think that's enough.
That's enough out of us. No one's here to hear us.
We have some royalty with us on the podcast today.
That's right. Yeah, today's guest is Beth, Queen, aka the Queen of Cardboard. Come on down, Beth. Welcome.
Hey guys, how are ya?
Great.
Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, we really appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited.
Okay, I have an initial question for you.
Right out the gate.
So I know you don't like to play up your queen title, but as royalty, I assume you have certain powers.
As someone who said they didn't want to play it up, and you were like immediately going into it.
Okay.
So, do you have the power to give lesser titles in the like a maybe
Yeah,
a,
can you give out
a
aristocratic-
marquee of
A
cardboard?
baronet.
Like, do I need to give you an envelope of cash? Like a maybe
Yeah, I'll send my PO box for that.
a baron of cardboard. Could that be something that I could apply for?
I've never given a title myself. However, I do have a funny story that's kind of ironic. So I do a lot of events, and sometimes, very rarely, my husband is able to go with me. And when we do events, he generally finds wherever the crater area is, and he sits in a corner and he waits for me to need something. And that's his entire experience the whole weekend, because he doesn't really play Magic. Well, one event, he was sitting at a table, and it just happened to be where they were also doing signups for Creator Clash, and he was just sitting there hanging out. And one of the people that was there was trying to get everyone to sign their autograph card. I don't know if you remember that one from the Unset, where you had like everyone sign it. And he didn't know that my husband is not a creator, does not play Magic, doesn't know anything about him, and was like, "Will you sign my card?" And my husband, without being like, without a blink, without even like, never said no, never said I don't play Magic, says absolutely, and pulls out a Sharpie and signs it, the Prince Consort of Cardboard.
They had a Sharpie on them.
Yeah.
Well, that's preparedness. I like it.
I haven't given out any titles, but some people have brought titles upon themselves.
Right. The Prince Consort of Cardboard.
Wait, wouldn't Prince imply he was your child?
No, Prince Consort.
Well, what's Prince Consort? It's not Prince.
It's not like you're immediately the son. It's like your royal title.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know much about heraldic titles.
Queen Elizabeth's husband, I believe, was also a Prince Consort.
Yep. Prince Philip, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, I have questions, but that's for our
that's for our monarchical podcast.
Yeah, our monarchy.
It's called Queens of Monarchy.
So, Beth, I realize you sort of jumped the gun here. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get into Magic?
So I actually started playing Magic in middle school. One of my childhood friends had a bunch of Magic cards. I spent hours and hours at his house on the floor of his bedroom, like looking at cards and putting them in rubber bands and all the things that kids do and playing games. And then when I started going to school and trying to do the same thing, I got told, "Oh, you're a girl, you can't play with us."
Oof.
Yeah. So it kind of nipped my feelings in the bud pretty quickly.
Sure.
I didn't play much longer, but I got back into it in the military, in a couple locations. And then, as Magic players do, like, I had other things happen, life happened, that kind of thing, and played on and off for the next several years until right after COVID. And I had found people playing Commander online and realized that this was a way to connect when I was feeling very alone, and started playing Commander over Spell Table. And from there, it just, like, I've never looked back.
That's amazing. What a great story.
So you mentioned being in the military. Did you play with other military members?
Yeah, we had a couple play groups. This was like back in the beginnings of, I think it probably would have been Commander, but at the time it was still called Elder Dragon Highlander. And we would play like 5-6 people in a group and just like play with these elder dragons. And I know that like we didn't follow any of the rules that are the same now, but it was definitely a group of guys and me who would go to one of our friends' house, hang out and play for a couple hours, and then, you know, have a good time. That was just like a thing that we did, and it was a blast.
That's a great way to connect and play, and and boo to the person who told you couldn't play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it happens a lot.
Unfortunately, it's a common tale.
I just thought it would have been less spoken out loud and more annoyingly implied,
passively done rather than just aggressively.
They just wouldn't be invited.
I'm just going to directly tell you my terrible misogyny.
Well, I mean, I would love to say that it's just teenage boys being boys, but I think that for women in the space, like they experience it a lot of different ways,
Right.
which is something that I kind of have addressed head on as part of my content. I've actually done two
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
panels in Vegas and Chicago about putting the her in the gathering, overcoming misogyny, and like girls play games too. So that's actually something that's like part of my greater purpose with the community of cardboard and these types of panels as well. Um,
That's awesome.
so, taking a bad thing and turning it good.
Yeah. Well,
Great.
kudos to you for flipping it on its head.
It just took a few years.
Yeah, man,
Mm.
it's an ongoing fight.
Yeah.
It's an ongoing fight.
I've noticed we play at a local game store, and it definitely skews way male.
That's an understatement.
That's but I think it's been getting better. I noticed.
Yes, over time it has gotten
Mhm.
better, but it's there's a road for progress.
Baby
There's
steps.
Yeah.
baby steps,
I,
incremental change.
I think I know for me personally and like a lot of women I play with now, like I never stepped foot into an LGS until a few years ago. Like
Mhm.
I knew it was there. I definitely had like memories of how I was treated in middle school and I never even gave it a
Mm-hmm.
chance. So I stayed in like safe groups and like people that like I already knew and liked as friends and never even considered a public setting, never considered playing competitively, never even tried any of those things. So when I did finally step into a game store, I definitely have had some of those experiences again, but I'm a grown up now and I don't let people tell me what I can and can't do.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
But I also had some other experiences where, like, one of the people who got me to get even more into magic was he's our queen of cardboard, um, is one of my gay friends who I didn't know from Adam. I came into the game store on a whim, had never played draft before, and he has kind of like set himself up as the community builder in our local area. And he made fun of me, but in a way that was like, hey, I like you don't have to feel different, you don't have to feel weird. Like it was
Mhm.
definitely like congenial joking and like immediately made me feel comfortable, immediately made me
Yeah.
feel safe. And it was one of the big reasons why I knew that community building was important, and also like reintroduced me to the queer community and like how many queer people play magic.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Well, shout out to all the LGSs that make spaces
Mhm.
great for all sorts of communities,
Mm-hmm.
and to all the community builders. I think every space, you can't have a community without people who are welcoming people into it.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
it takes work. It's
It is,
labor.
yeah. You can't be passive about it. You got to be active.
Yeah.
Well, Beth, we invited you here, and we asked you if you had a deck for us, and you've got a doozy.
I do.
It's so sad. I hope
I love it.
I love it. I do love it. I do love it. It's actually my dog's birthday today.
Wait,
Oh.
wait, your dog has a birthday?
What why would he not have a birthday?
Oh, I
He
guess
was born.
well, look, I've never had a dog, but I assume that people don't know when their dogs are born because they get it from other people.
Yeah,
But I
and
guess that person knows when the dog was born.
I'm also counting in human years, not in dog years. I'm not having
Seven
seven birthdays a year for him.
Yeah.
to Aji's chagrin.
Hmm.
Yeah, for sure. I have always been a dog person. So this deck is about my dog.
Hmm.
And it's something that like kind of built itself. But yeah, I'm more than happy to talk about it and talk about my dog and what happened and why I built it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe we can start with the inspiration here.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I showed you guys before pod and I'm just gonna pull it up. I know there's no video, but
We'll put a video. We'll put a picture on our.
Yeah, we
our
get if we get a
I'll send you a
photo, we
picture.
could.
A couple years ago, everybody knows Sheldon Menery. He was actually a mentor and friend of mine, and he tragically lost his battle against cancer. And so a group of us immediately knew that we wanted to do a charity event. And we set it up, and you're like, "What? This isn't about your dog," but I promise I'm getting there. We set up this charity event. It was very emotional for all of us. We had his best friends, the rules committee, people who had worked for him, just a bunch of people ready to and willing to raise money for cancer research for Sheldon. And the day before that, my dog tragically passed away, and it was not planned. It was not expected. It was one day he was there, and the next he was not. And we found out that he also had cancer, and we had no idea. So I went into that weekend just a mess and kind of had to put it to the side because we had to get through this very important thing. And not long after that, a community member gifted me a altar of whatever I wanted from Modfly. And if you don't know who Modfly is, it's a very talented altarist, does all kinds of different styles and different subjects. And it was something that was just like out of the blue, so gracious, so amazing. And the only thing on my mind, the only thing that I wanted was my dog. And so I thought about it for 0.5 seconds, said thank you very much, told him that I wanted an altar of my dog on Yoshimaru, ever faithful.
Why did you have Yoshimaru in mind right away? There's lots of different dogs, but what made Yoshimaru the one that you went with?
So Yoshimaru has partner, and I decided that I wanted to build a deck fully devoted to my dog King, and I wanted to make as many kings as humanly possible. So I built the deck as a Yoshimaru Sakashima partner.
Right, so Sakashima means the legend rule doesn't apply, so you can copy as many kings as possible.
Yes.
And Sakashima can also become a king.
Yeah. So the concept is that you play Yoshimaru on turn 1, you play Sakashima on turn 2, 3, or 4, and then the deck is almost entirely cloned. So you're building as many kings as possible, and it's kind of an honorific thing to him, but it's also kind of a meme because I have not gone above telling people that if they swing at me, they're going to kill my dead dog.
Also, if they remove Sakashima, you have to legend rule all the kings away, which also must be...
That's heartbreaking.
Yeah. Well, so what you do is that you bring in Sakashima, and then Sakashima keeps his text of the legend rule doesn't apply, and then you bring in every other clone as Sakashima. So you target Yoshimaru with Sakashima, then you target Sakashima with all the clones.
All your clones. So that always stays.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Really quickly, what kind of dog was King? Just so I can have a mental picture.
King was a boxer, and we got him from someone who was giving him away on Facebook. They had posted a post in a public group saying that they couldn't keep him anymore. They were going to take him to a shelter. He wasn't staying home. And I had 2 boxers at the time, Bella and Joy, and boxers are the dog that I've always had as an adult. Like, I've had 3 or 4 now. And I messaged them and said, listen, like, no judgment. I understand, even though I didn't. But I want you to know I'm very familiar with this breed. And as long as he gets along with my dogs and my kids, who at the time were all very little, I was like, he'll have a home forever. Like, no questions asked. And the guy said, well, I've already made an appointment with the pound. And I was like, I just didn't want to get into it. I was like, sure, cool. If you change your mind, I'm here all day. Mind you, my husband was at work, and I did not tell him any of this. And so about an hour later, the guy messages me. I guess he talked to his wife, and she, convinced him to bring King out. So they come out maybe an hour and a half later, and this dog gets out of the truck, and he's just excited to be there. He's so happy. And my girls, I thought I'd latched the door. I hadn't. They come charging out, and I'm like, oh no, like, I'm afraid. Like, I thought we were gonna have a dog fight, and like I was gonna have to pull them apart, because you don't introduce new dogs that way.
Okay,
not like that, yeah.
So these are quadruped girls, not
not
human girls.
Not your human.
No, these are my 2 boxer female dogs.
Yes.
And
So they come flying
they
out
come
the door.
flying out the door, and King just rolls over on his back and goes, "Love me."
Oh.
And everything was fine. And like I was like, "Yep, he's mine. Here, like, go,
Done.
done." My husband gets home and I'm like, "So,
Yeah.
we have a dog now?" And he's like, "What do you mean?" And it was King. And King is so funny because what we found out after a time is the reason he wasn't staying home is because anytime he did anything wrong, they were hitting him.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And we didn't find that out from them. We found it out from King because one,
Right.
King didn't want my husband to be closer to me than he was. So he would sit on my feet. So, like, you know how people say leave room for Jesus? King said leave room for King.
Right, right.
And King is actually the reason why I'm Queen of Cardboard, because it was just like,
I see.
yeah, it was like his name was King, it was cutesy, and like I just played off of it. But my husband at one point, he'd like taken off his belt and like smacked it funny, like being funny, being silly. And this like 60, 70 pound dog went from being like happy, silly boxer to under the table, like terrified.
Oh, no.
And we were like,
wow.
a dog doesn't just know to do that.
No.
So it was like, so we know what his situation was.
Oh my goodness.
And honestly, like from there on out, like he would never growl at anybody, he never barked at anybody, he never tried to run away. He was literally the best dog I've ever had in my life, just out the gate. And I loved him. You know, he was just an amazing dog his whole life. And that's why when we lost him, it was literally overnight. He wasn't eating, he got sick, and we took him to the vet. They, you know, gave him some medication. We thought he was getting better, and then at 2 a.m. he got sick and it was worse. And I knew right then that, like, not what it was, but what we were looking at. And we took him back, and they basically said, you know, we don't have a way to tell you absolutely positive for sure without doing like hundreds of dollars of more blood tests, but we're like, based off of everything that we're seeing, it's cancer, and this is it. And
right.
So we made the decision to put him down, and it was just there was nothing to do. There was no amount of money that could save him. There was no amount of like time. It was just like, we're now making this choice today. And that happens with dogs. Like, you can love them and take care of them and do everything right by them, and just sometimes, like, I think, like, in my head, I think like he didn't want us to know that he was sick. He just wanted to like keep being there for us, because there was no sign before that. And so it's one of those things where we really, really miss him. But this deck is something that I built in his honor.
So that's really beautiful. And what a gift to be able to give that dog all those years of companionship and love and care that he just sounds like he deserved.
Yeah, and it sounds like he was dealing with stuff that you didn't even know about, and you know, still keeping on going. I'm reminded there's a saying which is every dog owner thinks they have the greatest dog in the world, and none of them are wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I always just think about it like it's like a million-way tie for greatest dog.
Yeah,
for sure.
My dog isn't, but he's a little terror. No,
no, he's not a little terror. He's a giant terror.
He's a giant terror.
You have a Bernese, and that dog can do things.
Yeah, he's a little food thief. He'll jump on people. I love him so much.
He's great. I love him too. He's the best. Well, this deck is such an amazing kind of like testimony to what King meant to you and what he represented in your life. And so we have Yoshimaru and Sakashima making a zillion kings.
Yeah, so this isn't like a tech podcast, but just so people can follow along because it's audio. Yoshimaru is a 1/1 for 1 mana. Whenever another legendary permanent enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 on Yoshimaru. And Sakashima has you may have Sakashima enter the battlefield as a copy of another creature you control, except it has Sakashima's abilities. and the legend rule does not apply to permanents you control.
A blue and 3 for a 3/1.
Yeah.
And so you're playing Yoshimaru, you play Sakashima coming in as a copy, and so now you can just make as many copies of King Ever Faithful as you want.
Yes, exactly. And so when I built this deck, I was very clear that I wanted it to be in King's honor. So when I did the searching for this deck, either everything in the deck either is directly has a dog on it in the art somehow, including the lands, or it makes a dog. And it took a lot of Scryfall searching to find like the exact art. Thankfully Fallout came out, and Fallout had Fallout had dogs on the lands.
Dog meat?
Dog meat.
Yeah.
And also the Secret Lair Cats and Dogs deck came out.
Right.
So there was a lot of different ways that I pulled into this deck. Sometimes we're kind of cheeky, like Rest in Peace, which at the time that I put it in the deck, there was not a dog Rest in Peace, and now there is. So it was definitely one of those things where I wanted it to be on theme, or specifically make more kings. So we have things like Strionic Resonator, which just doubles that. But it was definitely a labor of love of like, I'm going to make this deck. It's going to be dog themed. It might not be good, but that's what it's going to do.
Well, I think it's a king among decks. So you have like a bunch of clones. So like let's take a look at like what this deck is doing. So you're making a bunch of clones. You've got a few board wipes. You got some good protection blinks. So what are you blinking with all of these blinkies?
So you've got Philia in there for blinking as well. And honestly, the blink is in there to trigger again. So the thing about Yoshimaru is that when a legend enters, it gets a 1/1. So the idea concept is that you're not just going to make kings, you're going to make really big kings. So all of these legends keep entering because the clones become Sakashima, which is a legend. So King's going to get really big. But because at the time that I built this deck, I didn't have a lot of clones to put in the deck. There's only 14 creatures besides the commanders. I needed to be able to trigger it again and again and again. So
so it's just extra dogs coming and going.
Yeah, and just extra ETB triggers.
Exactly.
Totally makes sense.
And Philia is also a dog.
Yep.
And basically, whenever she attacks, she blinks a permanent and puts a +1/+1 counter on her. So she'll also get bigger. And she's a corgi, and she's adorable.
Yeah.
And you do have Spirited Companion in here.
Yeah.
Which is a dog.
There's some classic dogs.
Yeah, there's some Isamaru. You got some classic dogs.
Mordekainen also makes dogs, which was like a weird pick.
-2. Yeah. So yeah, Mordekainen, 4 blue. Planeswalker. It comes in with 5 loyalty. For 2, you draw 2 cards and put a card from your hand on the bottom. For -2, you create a blue dog illusion, and it has power and toughness equal to twice the number of cards in your hand. -10, exchange your hand and library, then shuffle. You get an emblem. You have no maximum hands. Have you ever ulted Mordenkainen?
No.
You're just making dogs. You're just making dogs.
Yeah, exactly. And I did have to say that, like, when I play him, I'm like, listen, I'm just making dogs. I'm seriously, I promise you, I'm just making dogs.
So your rule 0 conversation is like, I'm not trying to steamroll you or ult it. I'm just trying to make kings.
Totally
exactly. And that's the other thing. Like, this is definitely not a like spectacular deck. It's not. I've never won with this deck. It's just there to try to honor my dog. And in addition to the dogs, I put in things like Flood of Tears. I put in Farewell. Everything Comes to Dust. I put in Honor the Fallen, Rest in Peace, and Animal Sanctuary as just like other ways to kind of honor him as well. If you like, and what I said to people like the first time that I played this deck, I definitely said like, if you're not laughing, you're crying. So definitely laugh about this. But it's it's not something that I pull out very often, just because it is hard. It is hard to talk about,
Mm-hmm.
losing something that's so important to you and so special. But when I play it, I always have a good time.
Okay, that's
Great.
good. So it doesn't always like ideally you want a memorial to celebrate the life and not dwell on the loss, hopefully.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's good to acknowledge that loss too.
Yeah.
And I love some of these like together forever. Oh, that's so. These are like, and of course, Basilisk Collar.
Basilisk Collar has a dog on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then like Run Away Together, like, and Virtue of Loyalty. Just like there were definitely cards in there that I was like, how does this honor King? How does this like speak to what King was to me? And I put a lot of thought into every single card that went into this deck.
Mm-hmm.
How do people react to it when you pull it out?
Varyingly. I think a lot of people are like, oh, are you serious? And then like they see the altar and the AP, because Sakashima is also an AP by Jason Engel, and
It's a artist
proof.
and artist proof. Yeah. So artist proofs are cards that are blank on the back, and some people have them sketched by the artist, some people leave them blank. This particular one is sketched by Jason himself, and I will say I don't think he knew what to think of me when I requested this, but he did draw my dog and then put a little crown on his head on the back. So so both the commanders, Yoshimaru and Sakashima, are in literal honor and art to my dog.
That's amazing. And we're gonna have as we do with all our guests, we'll put a link to the Mux. The deck will have a link in Muxfield, and we'll have pictures of these cards too.
Yeah, we'll have pictures, or we will edit out us saying that we have pictures.
Yeah.
One of the two things
you will have pictures. It's okay.
That's amazing. And yeah, some of these lands are great too, like Animal Sanctuary, which is totally on theme.
Well, and like going into it, like the one thing I need to do on Moxfield, which I didn't do, is I need to change every printing to the printing that I meant to do. So this was really hard to do, but also easy if you know how to use Scryfall. So one of the things that was cool about this was that I got to really like use my knowledge of coding and like use the Scryfall like little wording and this and the tagger project to find cards that I might not even know exist that have like a dog on it. I know like one of them, there was several that I was like, there's a dog in there. And then I'd have to go back and look and be like, oh, there is a dog in there.
So this is maybe something that a lot of people don't know.
Yeah, the tagger.
You can actually search for not just artist, but you can say, I forget the syntax, but art contains, and then put anything, and you can find some amazing stuff. Like I've just on a random whim, I made a pointing tribal. I just looked for art contains finger pointing, and I made a deck just as a whim because I was like, I can't believe I can do this.
Yeah, like Doan's Veto, I believe, has a dog on it.
Ooh, it does.
Yeah. And like Windfall, for example, I'll show you here. There's a little dog back there.
Oh yeah, they're right in the background.
And you wouldn't know it just like looking at the deck, but amazing. There's a dog. So that was really fun for me to like come up with different ways to show a dog that wasn't just in Secret Lair. And then of course there's the Secret Lair, so I have like the Anointed Procession from the Secret Lair.
Oh yeah, so nice.
Or for example the Lightning Greaves with the Corgi.
Yes.
And then also this one, like when I got this one, it definitely made me cry, which is Rest in Peace with the dog. But yeah, even Swords to Plowshares has a dog in it according to the art. I can't really see it, but it's there.
It makes me think, I wonder if these are the dogs of the artists who are including their own dogs in the art.
So I can speak with authority that the secret lair planes that Elena Danner did are not only her
Mm-hmm.
own dogs, but like dogs of friends of hers.
Mm,
So yeah, it is actually true. And your dog can become magic art if you know the right person.
Oh, life goal.
Yeah.
yeah, no kidding.
Um,
Yeah, wow.
Alpine Watchdog, I believe, is the name of the card. It's basically my dog.
oh,
Yeah, you don't
nice.
even need an altar.
No, it's pretty much bang on.
And you made a, or you had someone made a custom card of your dog too.
You did.
Well, I did, but someone else did.
Yeah, my 12-year-old son's one of his best friends made an AI generated art, and he came up with the flavor text or the all the text and rules for my dog too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
And then you also took a photo of my dog. Sorry, you being Vinny here.
Yes.
Uh,
And then I made a dog creature.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I just basically made it eat food.
It destroys
So it
destroys
destroys food.
artifacts.
Yeah, it destroys artifacts because it eats food
That's
tokens.
what
Nice.
exactly what my dog does.
It has haste and it eats the opponent's food.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah. So
I feel like maybe it needs exert so it like sleeps. Then you,
That's I should have thought of that. That's pretty funny. Well, I mean, like when you're playing this deck, like how many kings do you get into play?
it depends. I will say Magic players can be very aggressive. So
mm,
I hadn't
uh,
noticed.
I have like brought his collar onto stream and been like, you wouldn't want to hit my dog, would you?
mhm.
It doesn't work very often. They
Right.
normally like groan and laugh and then they just kill me anyways. I'm like, well, that's not very
Right.
nice. But it's okay. It's, it's magic, and that's, it's a way to kind of deal with that grief, but like overcome it and
100%.
still have a good time.
Yeah. Do you have any like particular games that kind of stand out?
Well, I definitely I think like the first time I brought it out was with like my friends Donnie and Jen, Filthy Magic Casuals, and I didn't expect them to give me any breaks because that's not how we are. But it was definitely like a very safe place to be however I wanted to be and feel however I wanted to feel. And then I also played it on Decked Out with MTG Nerd Girl, and had a good time there. So you can see that gameplay. And I got quite a few kings, but Nerd Girl was on Philia and she smacked the bejesus out of us.
Oh, so she was playing a dog deck as well?
Yeah, it was a dog themed commander pod.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's amazing. Are there any cards in here where you like pull it out, or you're like, I gotta play this, or like this is gonna, like any superstars or all stars of this deck?
I don't think so. I think this is a very like straightforward. The superstars are the commanders, so it's definitely
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
the commanders are what I want to see. They're what I want to play. I think like when I play something like Rest in Peace, people are like, "You did it," and I'm like, "I had to," like.
Mm.
Uh, so that one's definitely one that people are like, "You put Rest in Peace in your dead dog deck," and I'm like, "Sure did."
Mhm. Mhm.
Obviously, if I can't keep Sakashima on the field, there's a mirror box on there to,
Right.
have a little bit of a
Mhm.
backup. I have had to in games not copy King and copy something else on the battlefield.
Mm.
Just, magic is magic.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Things do not always go as planned.
Yep. I think Strionic Resonator, Mimic Vat is something that keeps the deck going. So
What can we read the text for mimic that?
yeah, Mimic Vat. It's imprint. Whenever a non-token creature dies, you may exile that card. If you do, return each other card exiled with this artifact to its owner's graveyard. And then 3 and tap, you create a token that's a copy of a card exiled with this artifact. It gains haste. Exile it at the beginning of the next end step. I believe I have exiled Sakashima under Mimic Vat.
Mhm.
Which is risky
Mhm.
because it doesn't come back after that, but very fun to just have Sakashima under a Mimic Vat ready to go whenever you
Yeah.
want.
You're
Um,
just dropping Sakashima tokens.
yeah, so that's something that I've had fun with. And Strionic Resonator is just a copy trigger ability, and this deck is all triggered abilities pretty
Mm-hmm.
much. So that's
So which ability do you usually copy?
this one I would copy probably Yoshimaru, but I can copy any ability
Right.
that I control. So
That's pretty sweet.
yeah.
Yeah, if you might want to like on a Kindred Discovery
Yeah.
get an extra card or something.
Yeah, Kindred Discovery, they all become dogs, so you draw every time one enters, every time you attack with one, which is always good. It's
Yeah, for
definitely
Kindred Discovery 3 blue. When it comes in, you choose a creature type, dog, I'd imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And then when a creature you control of the chosen type enters, or attacks, I always forget the or
Yeah,
attacks part.
yeah,
that
it's
you draw a
ridiculous.
card.
yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. So those are probably the best cards. There's other cards that don't make sense outside of the fact that they're dogs, like Dig Through
Mm-hmm.
Time. I'm not really trying to, wheel my deck or draw a huge amount of cards, but it's a dog on the art, so it's in
Right.
the deck. Uh,
Did you buy the dog secret lair deck?
yes.
Yes. Okay. So that must have been a huge boon for.
Oh yeah, that got stripped bare for this deck. So if there was a dog in that deck that fit in this deck that was white, it went in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are there any like cards that you're looking for, like waiting for them to have another dog secret lair drop, or any cards that don't quite fit the theme?
I think that like as time goes on, I'm not sure if I'm like planning on really changing it too much from where it is. The biggest thing
Mm.
right now is like getting the right art. So I didn't proxy
Mm-hmm.
anything at this point. So I have all of the cards that I wanted in the deck based off of the art or the name, but I don't have the correct art on those cards. So like when you look at it as it's built right now, you're like, why is this in here? And then I have to go back to the card on Scryfall and look at all the different printings and be
Right.
like, there it is. So that's something that like I haven't had time to do and really want to sit down. And I think that's where I am in my deck building right now, is where I'm trying not to build decks just to build them, but I'm trying to focus on what I have and really
Mm-hmm.
curating it either with how the deck works or how the deck looks to be exactly what I
Mm-hmm.
want. I know a lot of the cards in this are like Nana Key cards that I'd love to get artist proofs of and have more art
Mm-hmm.
of King.
Right.
And also like as it's grown over time, like I'd like to expand it to be my other dogs as well.
I was gonna ask if the other dogs got jealous.
Of this deck.
No, they don't know. I didn't tell them.
Okay.
We won't
Okay.
tell them. We won't. Your secret's safe with us.
About a month after King passed, we actually realized that our female boxer we had left, which is Joy, was a little lonely, and so we took a visit to an animal shelter, and I had very specific requirements. I really did not think we were coming home with the dog, because I wanted a dog that didn't run up at the gate, that didn't bark at you when you walked by, which in a shelter is next to impossible, that when you met the dog was interested in you, but not in your face, but like not scared. And we must have looked at 5 or 6 different dogs before we found the dog that we did end up bringing home, Midnight. And just really like, I thought that my standards were like up here, that there was no way that we would find it. We'd looked at a couple dogs, we were ready to go, and as we were leaving, I saw on the wall pictures of more dogs, and there were 5 German shepherds, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pictures right next to each other. And I had asked like, what's up with these dogs? Like, they're not I did not see German shepherds when we walked through. And they said, oh, well, they're in the back. We just got them in. We hadn't, gotten them. We don't have space to move them up yet. And so I asked to look at one of them, and she was like absolutely terrified. But I don't know, something in my head said, like, look at another. And so we asked to see one of the black ones. And my only reasoning at that point was because I know black dogs, black cats have a hard time getting adopted, that when they do get adopted, they tend to get used nefariously. And so I was like, I want to see one of the black ones. And the one that I initially picked, the guy was like, that was even more scared than the one that you don't like. So why don't you see this one? And that one was Midnight. And he comes into the room and he's pretty much exactly what I'm looking for. He's interested and excited to see us, but like he's fine being on his own. And my husband's kind of like, okay, babe, you need to make a decision. Like, are we gonna just look at dogs all day, or can we like carry on with our life? And I said, well, let's go see how he is outside. And then, if he's not the one, he's not the one. So we took him outside and he was running around, sniffing everything. And, at that point I was like, he's not really interested in us. Like maybe this isn't the one, but I wanted to give him a chance. So I called out to him and said, hey, come here. And he came right up to me, sat down, and put his paw on my knee, which is something that King did religiously. Like King's only trick was paw. And so I look over at my husband and he just goes, and Midnight came home with that.
So it sounds like the prince was it the crown prince?
Prince consort?
Prince consort is used to this sort of thing.
He's definitely along for the ride. He's my husband is my rock. He's not somebody who needs the limelight. He doesn't get jealous of me going to events. He definitely holds down the fort when I'm at this con or that con or streaming or whatever I have going on. Like right now, he's actually busy keeping Midnight quiet because I have his squeaky toy because he couldn't stop squeaking it.
Every single person who's been on the podcast has been like, I'm really sorry, my animal might be on the stream. You might hear some animal noises. And I'm like, that's not a bad thing. That's a plus
for us.
Yeah.
This is an animal-friendly podcast.
Yeah, animal-friendly and
squeak toy friendly or different.
Like that over and over again. And I know it was quiet. Let me find like over and over and over and over and over again. And like obsessively, he's coming.
Oh no.
My dog has a squeak toy, and a lot of the time dogs squeak toys sort of activate their predator instinct, and they will like attack and sort of kill it. Like oftentimes they'll literally take the squeaker out of the stuffy toy. My dog gets really upset when the squeaker goes off, and he will go and carry it so gently in his mouth like it's his little baby. Oh, hey.
Hello. Midnight.
Yeah. So.
Oh.
You can't have that. Good boy.
It's funny. All the questions that I have, I'm like looking at our list of questions, and it's all about deck tech stuff. It's like, why do you play this?
Where's the ramp in
this game? Well, how do you... And
none of it applies.
And like,
none of it.
We hope for the best. I will say, just the land base. I used to, when I first started building, try to cut as many lands as possible, and like I'd be at 23 lands, like on a prayer, we're gonna make it happen. Not playing CEDH, so you should not do that. And it was actually an article by Benny Smith, who I was able to meet through Sheldon and his friend Scott Larrabee, who were both on the rules committee together. One of what I like to call the OGs of Commander. He wrote an article about why you should have 37 plus lands in a deck. And I'd heard it before. I'd heard everything about why you should have more lands, and people would show you the math and it looks like this, and you're supposed to have the curve. And it wasn't until I read that article that I was like, light bulb moment.
But here's the thing. I'm conflicted about this because on one hand I see, you should play 40-ish lands. And then on the other hand, CDH decks are playing like 22.
Right.
I guess they have better card draw.
Yeah, but all those lands are like start at like $15.
Yeah.
And they're like all duels.
Well, and I think with CEDH, I honestly think of CEDH and Commander as two different formats. CEDH,
they absolutely are.
Yeah, CEDH has the goal of winning no matter what you do. You want to come to the table and you want to win.
Mm-hmm.
And Commander, I didn't realize this until Sheldon's last interview with BDM. He said Commander's about spending time with people that you care about, and
Mm-hmm.
100%.
eventually someone wins. And the
Mm-hmm.
way that Scott also describes it is it's more like a board game experience. You're all
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
there to spend time with each other and enjoy the gathering of Magic. Commander was
Mm-hmm.
actually created as a format for judges to let some stress off after dealing with competitive players,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
to just have fun, to have a good time, to
Mm-hmm.
see weird things that decks can do. And that final interview was something that, like, I'd heard it before, just like the Benny article. I'd heard it before, I'd seen it before, but there was just something in those words that I was like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
my entire viewpoint on how I play and how I build changed from that day forward. It was like, I don't care if I win. I don't care
Mm-hmm.
if I, have all of these things happen. Like, I want my deck to do a thing, and I want to have a good time with the people I'm there with.
Yeah, I feel like a parent. Like it feels like a very parental thing where you just sort of like, I just want everyone to have a good time. I want everyone to do their
Mm-hmm.
thing. I want everyone to enjoy what they're doing. And like I like the fact that you're still trying to win, but it's not important.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the experience. Yeah, absolutely. For me, it's like the socializing, the connecting with people, meeting people, playing with friends is awesome.
Yeah,
It's a
I
great
would
way
even
to connect.
argue that, like, winning just isn't even a goal usually for me.
No,
Mm-hmm.
I like to win. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I
right.
played a game the other night where I knew I had it after a certain turn, and they were like, "You just changed." It was like there was blood in the water. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
but like, I am happy that my deck does the thing. I'm happy to see other decks do the
I love
thing.
that.
Um, I as long as we're all bantering and having a good time, like, I'm having a good time.
A
Mm-hmm.
hundred percent.
I would say my magic hot take is, like, worry less about taking a 15-minute turn and, like, worry more about the expectations of the table.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't get into the sauce about, like, what if I do this right or what if I do this wrong? Like,
Right.
enjoy the people that you're there with. That's like, mwah, chef's kiss.
I'm so impressed that of all the people I play with, so few have been like super spiky. I find that like because I feel like if I kept going into games and people were playing super powerful to the point decks, I would build my decks to be more powerful. But they really don't. The commander community is really good at making like taking others into account when when they're making their decks. I've had some bad experiences. I did have one person play oppression on turn 2 or 3, and then which is every time you play a spell you discard a card,
Mm-hmm.
and then when everyone was out of cards, he was like, I scoop, I'm gonna go get something to eat.
Whoa! Wow, that's a different. They're playing a different game, which is
Oh
called "Make
my
Everyone
gosh.
Miserable."
That yeah. But I don't even feel like that guy did it on maliciously. I really just feel like he did it like without thinking.
Yeah.
Just carelessly.
95% of people that I meet are like a pleasure and
Yeah.
build their decks.
Well, we wouldn't
yeah.
be making this podcast if Magic
No.
was just
Yeah.
a laborious, endless, meeting butt munches.
If it was
Yep.
like Brawl on Arena, I don't know if you've ever played.
I've never played Brawl in Arena.
It's just
It does not sound like my jam.
nastiest, strongest cards. Everyone, because it's anonymous. As soon as you take people out of it,
Right.
they stop being humans, and then you're just trying to
Right.
mechanically.
Well, that's what's great about Commander.
Yeah.
It's the social aspect.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the thing. Like, you really have to be honest in your rule zero of, like, what your expectations are. And, like, don't
Yes.
get me
Mhm.
wrong. Like, I am more than willing to sit at a table and be like, oh, we're trying to kill each other. It's not
Mhm.
CEDH. That's fine.
Mhm.
Let's go. But I think what happens is that there's so much variety in Commander and so much
Right.
going on and so many cards out there that people really come down and they're like, they sometimes don't even know how to be honest. Like, they don't know how to gauge their
Mhm.
deck. They don't know
Mhm.
what, you know, what bracket it's in. They don't really like, they built this thing, they're super proud of it, and their concept of it doing the thing is that they win, when that's not necessarily true, because you have three other players who have decks that can also do the thing. So, it's definitely a huge learning curve. I think there's problems in people getting into Commander where they're not really given an education, but they jump in because that's like the starter product. And Commander's not really a starter game.
No,
it's very complicated. It's a lot.
That's a lot going on.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a great entry point for sure.
But I do think it's the way a lot of people join. My son, he's 12 now. He's been playing off and on for a couple of years, and Commander was the first way he wanted to learn. And I think there's something about that, like having your Commander like as a physical card as like a rallying point for the whole deck.
Yeah, and it's like a form of expression of like, this is my Commander. This is the one I want.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that's great too. I think there's definitely a way to teach someone how to play Commander properly. Like my kids started with Commander because I don't want to play Standard. I don't want to play 60 card formats. Like who does that? But but I think like a lot of people, they're so excited to bring someone in that they skip the nuts and bolts of Magic. So like somebody will be playing Commander and so they understand the basics, but they don't understand the stack, or they understand how their turn works in theory, but they don't understand multiple phases within their turns.
Right.
They, you notice they untap, upkeep, draw, but then what happens in the untap, what happens in the upkeep, what happens in the draw. They understand that their Commander is a certain color and the cards have to be a certain color because of the Commander, but they don't understand why that card is those three colors and how those three colors work together and what you should be trying to do. Or sometimes you get to the point where someone has a Commander and they want to do the thing, and so they build, like myself, 90 cards that do the thing and 10 cards that are lands, or 10 cards that like protection, or like you're like, I'm doing the thing so hard, but now I don't have any way to win, which is kind of like King. But like if you're okay with
that's not the goal. Yeah,
exactly. If you're okay with that, that's great. But if you're like, I built this deck that does this and that's what it does, but then like how do you win, and they don't know, but they want to win, that leads to frustration, and you're like, oh no.
Maybe you need to make a super sweaty CDH King deck.
Yeah.
Well, as we start wrapping up here, I did want to mention one more thing, which is the dogs versus cats secret lair that happened, which is they had like cats are better than dogs, dogs are better than cats, the two secret lairs, and whichever one sold more, they were going to do an all dog or all cat super lair in 2026, which is next year. And I don't think they've said which one won.
I don't know. I will say, like, I've been a little disconnected from Magic the last several months just due to some personal things. I don't know if the dogs won, but if they did, I might have a lot more cards to put in this King deck.
I'll definitely be thinking of you.
Which way do Magic players lean, though? I don't know. Cats. I have two cats and I have a dog.
I think
I don't know either way.
I think it could go either way.
I mean, people have strong emotions about their pets, understandably, understatedly perhaps, and so it's that's a. I'm curious to see which way this lands. We'll find out, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's it. I don't have anything else.
Awesome.
Beth, what's next for you?
Yeah.
So coming up for me, like obviously we've got summer coming up, and that's kind of my chance to reset. I've actually been away from home for about 6 months and only just got back a few months ago. So like I'm really looking forward to resetting with my family and like building that back up. And then what I'm really excited about is the end of the year. I'm out of Georgia and we've got MagicCon Atlanta coming up. And we are working on some big things in the works there. Hopefully having the Gathering Grounds come back, which is a safe space that we helped happen for Vegas and Atlanta, and working with Birds of Paradise on some stuff for that and helping get more marginalized people to conventions, because I think that that's an experience that everyone should get to experience 100%. At least once in their life.
I love that.
That's great. And I really hope everyone at home includes people, brings them in, invites them, and welcomes them to.
Yeah, quit being ding-dongs out there.
Yeah.
That's my advice.
Yeah, good, great, good, very good advice.
I think I solved it. All right. Thanks for joining us today, Beth.
Thank you
so much.
Wow. Oh, what a beautiful... That was really touching.
It was beautiful. It was really an approach to deck building that I've never really seen before.
Yeah, as a memorial.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Sad.
No,
I know,
but beautiful.
it's
sad, beautiful. Like, it's you know, we all have to like kind of process these things that happen in our life.
Yeah.
And I think using magic to do so is a beautiful way to do it.
Wait until I tell you about my Sheldon deck.
Oh my goodness.
Right, yeah.
I really, maybe we'll have you back on for season 2, because that was a tough, I don't know, both of them were really interesting and also both had a sadness to them.
Huge.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Who's the commander of your Sheldon deck?
Oh,
is it the Secret Lair?
It is not. It is Brina the Demagogue. So without going too deep into it, spoiler, if you want to hear about it again, have me back for season 2.
We can tease it. Can we tease it?
Yeah, we'll tease it.
Yeah,
we'll tease it.
So the concept was a secret. It was a pre-con like what Sheldon designed. Sheldon designed the Brina deck for Strixhaven. So it was that concept, but kind of updated for 2025, but also that had my flavor and like what I like to play in it, and then also like really have more of a community feel. So myself and Bobby Christine co-built it. We worked on it together, and I'm really not only happy with how it came out and how we built it, but also the fact that like the whole community is involved by putting cards that they signed into the deck.
Tune in for season 2.
Yeah.
That sounds really, really cool.
Thanks for joining us today, Beth.
Thanks for having me again.
Okay, well, I think that's it for this episode, Neil.
Yeah, let's wrap it up and bring it home.
All right. Well, you can find us, Untapped Libraries, on Blue Sky and YouTube as, guess what? Untapped Libraries, all one word. And you can find us on Moxfield under the same name, where all of our guests' deck lists are available. Our music is by Sparkling Water. You can find all of their music wherever you get your streams, and Untapped Libraries is also, as we said at the beginning, part of the Podcavern Network, found at podcavern.com. If you have any questions, comments, or requests, we can be reached at untappedlibraries@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and keep building.
Have you ever seen those lists on the internet that's like top 5 sandwich toppings, top 5 movies of the year, top 5 celebrities who have a very punchable face? You know what I'm talking about. The point is, all these lists drive us crazy because we have no idea who made them and how they even narrowed down their top 5 list. That's where my podcast comes in. My name is Tung La, and I am the host of Ranked, top 5 lists of stuff that don't matter. In every episode, with the help of a motley crew of self-proclaimed experts, we debate, battle, and work together, showing you the entire process of how we got there, to create a top 5 list of any and every topic we can think of, like top 5 brunch menu items, top 5 fictional dogs, top 5 90s songs, top 5 Steves? The list goes on, and we will not rest till we rank basically everything. So join us every second Thursday in the Podcavern for Ranked, top 5 lists of stuff that don't matter.
Top 5, top 5, top 5.